start this episode with a quote by Eckhart Tolle. He says, realize deeply that the present moment is all that you ever have. Make now the primary focus of your life. You might listen to this and kind of think, oh, this is kind of pretty fucking heavy for a business podcast. And to be honest, it's a fair comment. I would put it to you, because I kind of questioned this myself when I kind of read this, that if this feels heavy to you when you hear it, it's probably because your body is trying to tell you something I guess the logical mind already knows. The disconnect and what some might call your spiritual awareness is sort of pulling you towards something deeper, but your mind is shutting it down. Honestly, if this is hitting a nerve when you're listening to this, and you might be tempted to switch it off, that's really cool. Do what you need to do, because this podcast isn't going anywhere. It's still going to be here when you might be ready to face it. Most of you guys listening to this, you're probably running your construction business, not just for yourself, but for someone else. You might be kind of grinding, let's say, for your kids and giving them a future of opportunities that maybe you never had. Maybe you're doing this for your wife, so she doesn't have to work and she can stay at home and focus on looking after the house and the children. You're doing it for your parents, to give them a thank you, to retire them for all the sacrifice that they've made up till now. These things are very common, they're very beautiful, they're very pure. They get us out of bed in the morning, they keep us working late in the night. And they help us push through the monotonous bullshit that often comes with running a construction company. But this is the thing that kind of made me want to make this podcast and share this, is that a recent death in my personal life has forced me to look at the past in these last few days and consider the what ifs and consider the what could have beens, and look at the kind of future, at all the potential scenarios and how they could have played out, and the fact that they didn't play out in the way that I thought. And ultimately, all that thinking brings me back to the present and asking myself, am I living right now in a way that I wouldn't regret if it all ended for me today? There's this idea that you'll often hear of this concept of just understanding that you are going to die one day, and just take that as a certainty. It will happen. And that isn't just platitude, it's a fact, right? And if you can face it, it actually becomes quite a powerful motivator. Me, myself, admittedly, I forget that. And part of this episode, part of me making this, is to remember and remind myself to think about that more frequently. And that's not to say that you should be living your life recklessly, and it's more to kind of think about starting to prioritize what actually matters. You don't necessarily have to go out there and make grand gestures or tear your life apart to just chase some dream. I think it's more about being aligned. It's more about taking the time to ensure that the life that you're living right now actually matches the life that you want, and you don't just end up being in a position where you start sitting around later and kind of wondering where the hell it went wrong. And that often happens. I see that so often when speaking to business owners. I'm a big fan of keeping stuff real and keeping stuff practical. I don't want this to just become a high level philosophy that you kind of listen to and then carry on with your day and just forget about. The idea would be for you to take this and do something about it, right? And I think the best way to do that is to really think about what it is that you're doing. I want to bring this into a business context. Like I said, for most of us, we're in business for the people that we care about, not just for us. It's our kids, our parents, our families. And just ask yourself, when is the last time that you've checked in with those people? And that's not just to say hi or talk logistics. Did you go to gymnastics today? All that shit. It's to check whether the why in your head actually matches the why in theirs. We get super buried into the day-to-day grind, and we sometimes forget to calibrate, right? And sometimes we just don't do the check-ins altogether, especially as men. It's easy to just assume that what we think is what others think, and then one day, bam, it's too late. Shit's too late. You can't change it. The truth is, You can find any meaning from this and take what you need. But I would say to the person that's listening to this that is thinking, shit, this guy is talking about me, this is literally me, he's talking to me, then I tell you there's a sign. Tell you is take a pit stop. Check in with your people and make sure that the reason that you're grinding, the reason you're doing what you're doing is actually what they want as well. Because at the end of the day, that grind is meaningless if it's not in sync with the people that you're actually trying to do it for. I'll wrap it up there. Obviously a short one, but I just want to reiterate, man, make the present your focus, and not just for yourself, also for the people that you're trying to do your business for. And you got this.